if you are feeling like disconnected in your relationship, for example, in your intimate relationship, and you want to sit down and have the hard conversation. And if you approach it from, you always come home from work late, and then you always are on your phone and you're just checked out, and you never help with the dishes and making dinner. And so I'm stuck with doing that. And then you blah, 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 blah. Instead of what you're actually saying or what you mean to be saying is, hey, I really miss you. I really am desiring more connection. And something that I would really like to maybe explore together is how we can create blah, 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 blah. So approaching it from a place of vulnerability and taking ownership of what you're actually desiring or what you're actually trying to, get from the other person or give to the other person is so much better than taking the approach of you. And the other thing that I want to mention, because I think sometimes I've literally seen this with, again, clients and also just people in my life when they work with a counselor, for example, or a therapist who's like, use I language. And then they approach the conversation in like a smart ass way of like, well, I feel blah, blah, blah. And I want it's like, no, you're missing the point. Like,
Yeah.
do it in a loving way.
Absolutely do not weaponize tools. Like that is a thing that can happen, slippery slope of weaponizing what we learn at therapy or weaponizing what we, well, my therapist said I need to do it like this and still using knives instead of,
Yep.
yeah. So that I love that you said that. And, just one of the things that kind of comes up in this whole thing is like, maybe you don't actually know what you're desiring. You want to talk, or like Kayla had mentioned, like that moment of like, the you, but really what is actually happening is the it's the experience. And so a tool to kind of tune into that, if you don't actually know what's happening, but there's something and you're desiring something, and that's where maybe the fights come in, or the confrontation, or the you don't even care. I feel like that's a thing I hear a lot in a lot of relationships or in my work with clients is, he or they or whoever doesn't even care. And then it's kind of like, it's easier to write it off. But when we really tune in to what are you saying? Like when you say, like, when we're placing that blame, and this brings me to the tool of like naming it to tame it. So tuning in and actually understanding, like, what do I want? What is the desired outcome of this conversation? And why am I feeling this way? And understanding that, like, okay, so maybe, in the case of like you come home from work, you're disconnected, all of those things, like you mentioned, it's like, I actually am feeling neglected. And that really hurts. I'm actually feeling like insecure, like you don't love me. And that's really painful. And when we name it to tame it, our brain, no one said it's comfortable. Nobody said it's going to be comfortable, but we're actually like we're actually understanding what's happening and able to like shine a light on it. And when we shine a light on things is when we actually can do something about them.